how we feel after the surgery. It's better, if he's happy, if he's feels satisfied by the outcome of the surgery. We did a very comprehensive systematic review for the literature over the last 25 years for all reported outcomes there used to report about new instrument, new intervention, new approaches. You have to give priority what's taking your time now, but research, you have to push yourself to maintain your interest and motivation to continue with research and publication, reading more and more. Yeah. In 70% of the cases, 75%, they're most commonly used. Till we find a better validated one, let's minimize the PROMs, the patient-input outcomes we are using, literature publications. From my personal experience, I tried in my own clinic. I tried several ones, actually. You have to choose one which is simple.
Okay, good evening, folks. Today in our podcast episode, we have with us a wonderful neurosurgeon who is crossing continents to operate cases. We have with us Waeel Hamouda. He will be explaining to us his wonderful journey in spine surgery. He's a neurosurgeon and we'll be looking at his pathway to success. So welcome, Waeel, to our show, and we are very happy to have you today.
Okay. Welcome, Dr. Satish. Welcome, Dr. Jiri. Thank you for having me today. We'll start to see how I'm doing in the podcast now, if I'm good or not.
To start the podcast, let us know your journey into spine. How did you choose the specialty, or did the specialty choose you?
It's a bit of that, a bit of this. Actually, it's a long story. When I finished my undergrad medical school, I was ranking among the top of my class. So neurosurgery is one of the top picks in Egypt, Cairo University, graduated. So I followed the trend, and then I chose neurosurgery, but I didn't have any previous experience with that. And then after I finished my neurosurgery residence, the surprise, I was trained initially to be a skull-based surgeon. And I went for a couple of fellowship in Germany and States for skull-based. But then when I moved from Egypt to Saudi Arabia, let's say the type of patient, the flow of patient, the referral system is a little different from Egypt. So most of the cases here have been spine cases, and that I had to shift my interest, my focus. And for the last maybe 12 to 15 years, my main workload is actually spine surgery. And then I had to travel again for another fellowship in spine to start my spine career. So let's say I was directed into the spine specialty.
That's a nice way of saying it. So in this long journey, do you have any moments that made you to pivot more towards a neurosurgery rather than the other surgical choices?
Yes, I can actually, if we're talking about how shape myself as a spine surgeon, I think one of the moments I have to remember is actually when I first volunteered for anonymous public call for the Spine Knowledge Forum Generative 2019 or 20, if I can remember, where they were asking for an volunteer for the project for the anterior cervical spine osteobiologics. And then at that time, I was just a member of AO Spine. I was not still a member of any research group. And then I joined them at that time in some of the topic research. And then it started all from there. And actually, it was a game-changing moment for me and step in my career, because it was my first involvement in actual research work. And starting from then, I can tell that I started to be a surgeon and a researcher at the same time. Yeah,
I always second to that, because I had similar experience with the Knowledge Forum Regenerative, and we are all open to that, and it opened world to us. That is one of the key pivotal moment in my journey also. So I can see that you are always in theaters and also contributing much to research. So how do you balance this between the clinical work and research and academic contributions? How do you balance it?
Okay, this is a difficult one. Actually, I don't. Let's say frank. It's always times down. Sometimes you're too busy in your clinical practice. Sometimes you have enough time to indulge more in your research and publications. You have to keep both. You cannot keep it 50-50 exactly, but whenever you have time, you have to give priority what's taking your time now. But research, you have to push yourself to maintain your interest and motivation to continue with research and publication, reading more and more.
Yeah, simply put, you are taking one at a time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But with back in mind that I'm focusing that research is essential for being a good surgeon. You have to read more and you have to be involved in more research, and this is an essential part of your career as a surgeon. Yeah. Yes, I always keep this in mind, so I try to find as much time as I can to balance both of them. Yeah.
So, be it surgery or research, we always have some favorites. So, which research project is very close to your heart?
Actually, Satish can know about this. Actually, we started a research a couple of years ago in Knowledge Forum, Spine, about how to assess the outcome, surgical outcome of some of the commonly performed surgeries. And most of the spine surgeons are aware about what's called the patient-reported outcome measures, which is something which patient tell you after the surgery, how we feel after the surgery. It's better, if he's happy, if he's feels satisfied by the outcome of the surgery. We did a very comprehensive systematic review for the literature over the last 25 years for all reported outcomes they're used to report about new instrument, new intervention, new approaches in spine. And it was a good work, actually, because it's broadened our mind and opened our eyes about what's actually the publications, the literatures are using to report about the outcomes of surgeons and devices and interventions. Yeah, it's something I'm proud of, and actually I think it will help further in the future to be a base for more important research topics here.
Yeah, I second that, because that was a very comprehensive and extensive literature search we did for that study. And like, if there is one clinical takeaway from that study, what did that be for the spine community?
That we are using too much patient-reported outcomes. That's too much, a lot of heterogeneity, and it is not very accurate nor fair to use different patient-reported outcomes to report about different surgical interventions. There should be some, let's say, some senses about within the spine community to agree that we have to use one or two validated patient-reported outcomes only, so it will be easier to compare different interventions, different approaches, different devices, whatever we are comparing. Yeah. Because if every publication uses its own reporting outcomes, you cannot compare. You can't tell which is better and which is worse. Yeah.
That is very true. This is not a particular problem to spine alone. Across orthopedics, in each region, we have too many patient-reported outcome measures. And what would you like to tell the general orthopedicians about how to go about it in other specialties? How to solve this problem? How did your methodology evolve during your research?
During research, actually, you found, yes, there is still a few patient-reported outcomes which are most commonly used, okay, among maybe like in 70% of the cases, 75% they're most commonly used. Till we find a better validated one, let's minimize the PROMs, the patient-reported outcomes we're using, literature publications. From my personal experience, I tried in my own clinic. I tried several ones, actually. You have to choose one which is simple, understandable by your patients, and not time consuming, which is very important because the clinic's so busy. Yeah. And sustain it, because you can compare your outcomes here. Yes, I think, and we can work further to find something which is more validated, better, easier, simpler, and to spread it among all the spine community so they can be adopted by most of the surgeons. And then at that time we reach a point which we can actually truly compare interventions, devices, everything in an accurate way, in a fair way.
Yeah, true. Because quick and easily applicable PRO is the most wanted one in this case. And like a community like AO Spine or the global leaders might all put together a composite score, as we were speaking earlier, like which integrates all these components into one composite score, which could be the solution to all these varied usage of PROs across various countries, and they have their own barriers and stuff, and which could all be met. And if single unified outcome measure could be taken out for a specialty or a particular region, it would be the best thing to happen in the coming decade. We hope so.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. So this is on the project that you have completed. So like if there is a project that is ongoing, and if you want to give the rationale behind the choice of that project, what would that be? What is that project, and what is the idea behind taking that project on?
Okay. Yes. Right now, it's a little bit of a wide project, a wide geographical project. Actually, we noted that from where I'm working or practicing now, from where I live in the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa region, the scientific literature outcome within the spine surgery is a little bit limited, and just confined to few centers within the region. This region is a huge region, vast region, extending from Morocco in the west up to Iran, Turkey, Pakistan, whatever, and India, maybe in the east. So actually, very limited outcome, and most of them are case reports, and very confined, as I said before, to few centers in this area. So now we are, since the last 3 months, we're going for a project to try to encourage and motivate young researchers within the MENA region to join. We have created like 3-4 groups regarding oncology, deformity, degenerative trauma, spinal cord injury, new technologies, and try to recruit our young colleagues from anyone who's willing. We had an open call on LinkedIn and social media. And now in my group, for example, about degenerative spine, we have like 8 now. And we're trying to start to increase the productivity of this group, lead them in a way that they can develop their own research career, and hopefully in the future there will be leaders for more younger generations, and the thing is coming to roll on.
That's wonderful, because when we look at the representation from the MENA region in the global forum, it is very much limited. And your current project, I really appreciate it for bringing up all the early career surgeons and researchers to put up their work in a unified manner, so that the region is well represented and their barriers are all well showcased in the global arena, so that it is all met in the future at least. Yeah, that's a wonderful project you are taking on. So like in this project, so what are the challenges that you are facing to recruit the surgeons from places where it is underrepresented?
Actually, mainly about the research, the concept or the mental setup about research. Most of our junior colleagues, most of the centers in this area are not well equipped, or not have a good research community. So actually, what I'm facing now, that let's say the research culture, the research mindset is not well developed. So the experience with research, the knowledge about research, the basic things, a little bit lacking. So we don't just get a project and start a research project. No, we have to start from the little bit from let's say beginner levels, regarding what about research, how to do a research, how to use a reference manager, how to do systematic review, how to do something like platforms like Ryan or similar platforms. Yes, we start from a beginner level, but we are seeing for the last few months a very, very, very excellent development and progression. And hopefully this will continue, and it will yield up some good research publications, and which will be disseminated among the area in the future.
Wonderful. That is an excellent project. So this is not a problem confined to your region alone. For the vastness of India, we still face the same problem here as well. Many of us are not motivated into research. Are you planning some basic courses to initiate these younger colleagues into research? Because the research knowledge is varied, and when you group them together, it's going to be difficult to start a research project. Are you planning something like that through your association?
Yes, actually, yes. I tried on person level, just keep them Zoom meets about the basic research. But actually, I think we are doing this MENA project under the umbrella of the AO. So AO has its own peer courses for research, for young researchers. So what we are working on now, and hopefully we're being successful in it, that we can manage to have like a discounted rate for these young colleagues to join this. To join these courses, And actually we are trying now. I'm trying to search even outside AO if there is available on the internet. The good thing about the new AI and the social media and the YouTube and everything, that you can find high quality research courses at affordable price or even free, which will help. The idea is that to try to find the best one which suit their time and their level, and encourage them to join and monitor them and mentor them during this journey.
So how far do you see this technology is bridging these barriers? Like they are very much basic in research, but still they are picking up in a fast pace. Like say, for example, if this is the scenario like a decade earlier and it is in its current state, like what is a major advantage you see with these technologies?
First of all, actually, we're talking about the MENA regions, more than like 25 countries extending over 3 continents, actually. So actually, I believe that if we initiated this project like 6-7 years ago, before the COVID era, when we got used to Zoom meet as we are doing now, actually, this would be very, very difficult, almost impossible. Now at this time, actually, you can do a meeting with more than 20 person, different zones, different countries, everything, every week, with a clear voice, clear interaction, sharing documents, sharing your projects, which is definitely, it's a very, very big add to the collaborative work for research. Yes. And the other point is about the AI, or about the artificial intelligence. Now, actually, I just heard a comment about it was an interview in one of the hospitals when they asking the applicants if you use the AI or not. And actually, it was a tricky question. So some applicants, they said, no, I don't use it in my publication. Thought that they're telling the interviewer that their work is genuine, actually. But the actual interviewer, just whoever said that I don't use the AI, he actually didn't select it for the post. And when I asked him why, maybe they're genuine. And at that in 2025, if you are not using AI in research, either you are lying or you are out of date. So actually, yes, you can use AI to help you. You don't use it to write the research, but it use it to help, to search, to find, to make it better, actually. Yes, and he's a good point. He convinced me, actually, at that point, yeah.